If you want to sit here, Tracy, I'll move over. You're
Recording this time.
Don't matter to me.
Okay. Turn your place. Wait. Oh, this is a better chair. I really didn't try to
See how
dig you out of your chair.
Here. See how you are. I like his woman's jacket. His woman's jacket hiding behind.
Oh.
It gives him that
It's
feeling.
managed.
Oh no, Danny, I think you can pull it off.
That's good.
I'm serious.
I had to reread it.
Yeah.
Somebody else got one.
I'll give you 2 copies of this. I'll get one back from this one.
Is Reese coming today?
Oh, it's not in your folders today.
It's from the office, so we're
You
doing
have an agenda?
Yeah, and the.
We got somebody's notebook. Oh, that's for,
They weren't in their packets.
They weren't in the package, so I'm
Oh, okay.
asking.
that's for the notes there.
Do you have one?
No, I don't.
There you go.
Right.
There you go.
Wind blow after another. What? Oh, okay. Are you ready? Yeah.
I got some.
Okay, yeah.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll call a meeting to order.
Okay. Roll call, Earl Maltby.
Here.
What's your name, Jerry Kramer?
I
Sorry.
don't know. I think I'm.
Okay. Christina Smith. Here. And Scott Layfield.
Here.
And Mary Jowers is absent. And Rhonda Hamby is here. Yes. Okay.
So I hear a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda as presented.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the agenda. I hear a motion to approve the consent agenda.
We need to do a vote on
We
that.
have
Vote on
to,
approval of the
Oh.
agenda first.
See, I'm getting a little bit. Okay.
I'll in favor?
All in favor of approving the agenda?
Aye.
Opposed? Approval of the consent agenda, do I hear a motion to do so?
I will make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the consent agenda. All those in favor?
Aye.
Public forum.
Okay. At this time, the public will be recognized. Each person seeking to address the council will be recognized for a maximum of 2 minutes. You must provide your first and last name, your city of residence, and the topic of discussion before beginning. After you have spoken, you may exit at any time, or you may quietly observe the remainder of the meeting. Do we have anyone?
When I say my name, does that count of the 2 minutes?
Do we have to sing it?
No, but I mean, as long as we can hear you.
My name is Ashley Rivert. I live here in town. And it's a topic about the cats here in town. I have had 2 cats go missing. I was wanting to talk to Mary about it because I know she's the only one that deals with them here in town. She has admitted to seeing one of mine, and then he magically vanished. One's been missing since February or March at the beginning of last year, and then October. So, I mean, I would like to know what she's doing with them.
Yeah, I don't know if she is or anything. But when you
She
got
is. I was confirmed before Chief left
that she,
that she's the only one that deals with them.
yeah, I mean, as far as the cats, we have a lot of wild foxes here in town, especially down there by.
Oh, one of mine's fought off foxes in front of our house. So, I mean, I'm not worried about that one. He knows how to survive. But the other one is very dependent on people.
Yeah, I'd be more,
I would like to know where they went.
yeah, I wouldn't have a clue. I mean, I'd be more worried about the foxes than anything.
I know that the direction Mary wanted to take it was to get spayed neuter shots and release them. So I don't see them.
Have you addressed her outside of the meeting about it? Or-
She won't talk to me. Last time I had any interaction with her, she came speeding by my house, screaming and yelling at me, and then drove off.
What's your last name? Ashley?
Rupert, R-U-P-E-R-T.
And what street do you live on?
I live on Allen at 6 by the old grade school.
Okay.
And they both frequently visit the house right there on the corner of Kansas and Railroad.
Okay.
Okay, we're the one that we're in the middle of here in town.
Okay.
Okay.
And there, I mean, there's a little one over there that looks just like one of mine, but I mean, I know it's not him. It's too small.
Have you posted pictures of these?
Yeah.
Right after both of them, I mean, they both escaped out the door, but I mean, I posted everything and nobody has seen them.
I have to talk with Mary, but I'd be more worried about as far as the foxes. I've been out early mornings walking several times
Oh, I know, I catch them on my cameras all the time.
and basically seen the adult fox with a cat in its mouth.
Over in that area too, they go in the
Yeah.
drainage, there's lots of
Drainage and then the concrete pile over there. But
Yeah.
Isn't Mary taking care of the cats moreover than?
I mean, she's been feeding them and giving them a.
Yeah, she's been attracting skunks over there quite a bit. That's all for me.
Anybody else?
I don't know what we can do about that.
I know. I mean, like I said, I just would like to know what's occurring on her end.
I have no idea. She's not here to represent herself.
I know.
I am pretty confident saying that her attitude towards cats and animals in general, she's not one to be putting cats down or, you know, I mean, she goes out of her way to feed them and try to take care of them, so. But
Well, I know that.
yeah,
I mean, if she's got them, I would like them back. I mean,
understand that.
one of them, belongs to somebody that's mentally disabled, so he's going nuts without his cat. That's his best friend.
Anybody else?
Let us move along. Says here we're to appoint McPherson Sentinel as the official newspaper.
I'll make motion to appoint the new.
What do we need to do on that besides make a motion?
Nothing.
I'll make a motion to reappoint the Sentinel as our official newspaper for notification purposes.
And I can second that.
A motion has been made and seconded to recognize the McPherson Sentinel as the official newspaper for the city of Canton. All those in favor?
Aye.
I
Okay. Now, we need to appoint the State Bank of Canton and Citizen State Bank as our official depositories. Do I hear a motion to do so?
Make a motion to appoint State Bank of Canton and Citizen State Bank of Canton as depositories for the city of Canton.
I'll second that motion.
A motion has been made and seconded to appoint the State Bank of Canton and the Citizen State Bank as official depositories for the city of Canton. Thank you. And how many will agree with us?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay. We need to approve GAAP water resolution 2025-01.
It's the gap waiver that you have to approve every year to exempt yourself from following the gap generally accepted accounting principles. Everybody does it every year, and it's mainly because filing a gap audit and going through that process would be about 10 times more expensive than your regular audit, and good luck finding an accountant to do it. So we have this wonderful ability to exempt ourselves from it, so everybody always does it. Please do it.
Okay.
Make a motion to approve the gap waiver resolution 2025-01.
2025-01.
And-
Second.
Right. I'm trying.
A motion has been made and seconded to approve GAAP water resolution 2025-01. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
So you can sign your life with
I had a moment to quit writing. I don't do shorthand.
on the waiver?
On the way, Scott made it and you seconded it.
Okay.
And Bruce, listen.
Okay, next one is
The city aid contract.
I've got it right here, you want me to read it? Okay, contract for services 2025. This contract is made effective by and between Anita Gertson of 514 Americas Way, Box 1215, Elder, South Dakota, and the city of Canton, Kansas, P.O. Box 476. Description of services. City aid will provide to Canton the following services: technical support via remote access, team viewer if needed for software assistance, provide help with general clerk questions, and prepare budget if requested. Charges for services. Charges are as follows: $30 per hour for technical / clerk support. There will be a minimum charge of $10 for 15 minutes or less, and round it up to the next quarter of an hour. $10 for 15 minutes, 15 for 30, $22.50 for 45, and 30 for 1 hour. Payment shall be made to the City Aid LLC, Crossroads Credit Union, Gossett, Kansas, upon receiving invoice for completion of services described in this contract. Invoices will be emailed monthly. Warranties. City Aid shall provide its services and meet its obligations under this contract in a timely and workmanlike manner, using knowledge and recommendations for performing these services, which meet generally acceptable standards of City Aid's community and region, and will provide a standard of care equal to or superior to care used by service providers similar to City Aid on similar projects. This contract may be terminated by either party upon written notice to the other party. Confidentiality. City Aid LLC or its representatives will not at any time or in any matter, either directly or indirectly, use the personal benefit of City Aid LLC or divulge, disclose, or communicate in any manner any information that is proprietary to Canton. City Aid LLC and representatives will protect such information and treat it as strictly confidential. This provision will continue to be effective after the termination of this contract. Canton also agrees to the same standard of confidentiality in all manners of services provided by City Aid LLC. This contract may be modified or amended if the amendment is made in writing and signed by both parties. This contract shall be governed by the laws of the state of Kansas. Signatures.
I make a motion that we approve the city aid contract for 2025.
I'll second.
A motion has been made and seconded to approve the city aid contract for the period, the year 2025. All those in favor?
Aye.
I don't know what this one means.
It's a transfer of funds for all the late fees and
Oh, that, okay. That one,
Do we know what that dollar amount was?
no.
I have no idea.
I don't think we have the exact dollar amount. I don't think we really need the dollar amount. Once
I
it's
was just
transferred,
curious,
it's
one year it was 4,000 something.
done. I think it's
That
done at the
could
end of
well be
every
that
year.
this year.
We just need to do a
I'm
motion.
surprised at how many people pay a penalty for not paying bills on time.
a motion to move the money from the penalty fund into the regular water fund.
I'll second.
A motion has been made and seconded to approve transfer of penalty fund to the water fund. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, item 10, maintenance supervisor. Erica said she'd like to have somebody helping.
How many hours you put in this week so far?
Two days with me.
How many did you put in, Dean, you think? I mean, as far as on snow removal.
Right. Maybe 20, 25, something like
In
that.
one day.
No,
2 days.
then Saturday we worked on the windshield and putting chains on and stuff like that.
Yeah, all right, yeah.
James help?
Tremendous.
Thank you both.
Yes,
Yeah.
indeed. Thank
Yeah,
everybody.
You both and all our other volunteers and
Keith and
Keith,
Preston.
Keith did a very good job.
You did an amazing job. I could have pulled it off, but I couldn't have done what you did.
Yeah, he did a great job, brother.
And then who was with Israel?
Robert Nelson. Yeah, that's the tractor that's in my front yard.
Still?
Oh no, I just got me back there because he helped the people across the street because his car got stuck. So he went and dug out both cars.
we just have some amazing volunteers step up. And Jerica, hats off to you
Yeah.
for getting it all coordinated.
Yeah, you did a fantastic job.
Thank you.
You did.
And I haven't been to MAC, but I have people that tell me
Oh,
No,
there's-
their
don't
streets
go.
suck, that we are,
Don't go.
yeah, that
I just
I
came
mean,
from there.
what's been done, what's been done in Canton is phenomenal.
Get somebody in to
So,
remove
yes.
it from more than our pumps.
Well,
12 to 3 o'clock,
to get right down to it,
24/7. Ice is that thick.
Austin Morgan has been hired as the maintenance supervisor. And will start in approximately 10 days.
Is it 10 days?
Well, whatever.
The 20th,
She's the 20th.
the 20th, I believe.
That's about 10 days.
Well, I don't know what day of the week it is half the time. I was just like 10 days from.
It's like 2 weeks from Monday, plus this last Monday.
Last
Yeah.
Well, I mean, 10 days isn't very long, but it's gonna be a
Oh, yes,
lifetime.
it is.
It's gonna be a lifetime.
It's a really long time.
It is when you're standing alone, huh?
And I will
I haven't been
acknowledge,
standing alone yet. Daniel was there to bail me out the other
He
day.
brings to us some very good qualities that will help us
yes, and I,
pull this city forward, so.
it may not be common knowledge, but even though he was not officially hired, he was very actively involved in what went on over the weekend. Problems with the sewer and a lot of other things are going on, so I think he'll be a real asset.
Okay.
Did
I
you
don't know
get,
how much further that goes, than to just say that.
did you get a copy of the maintenance contract for the sewer?
Yeah, I've got one. The Comtronics. No, that's not, that's,
No, I did not.
Did you get a copy of that?
Yes. This?
No. I don't think they've given it to us
They may
yet.
not have.
You wanna tell us a little bit about it?
Well, we've had a lot of problems with the sewer system over the weekend. And it turns out that the company that was called out to do some of the repairs, we had a maintenance contract with them that somehow fell through the cracks and didn't get renewed. They are the company that takes care of the manufacture of the equipment locally. They come out of Leon. So we need to renew that maintenance contract when we get that information. It's, otherwise, we're kind of in the dark on it. However,
Well, I wouldn't put it that way. If the hole is so cavernous, they don't have any way out.
now, something that Jerry brought up that's very positive is you said that Brian,
Yeah, KRWA is putting on a seminar January 30th in Newton, and they have a mobile unit that's exactly like ours that we will literally take completely apart, including the control panel and the primer pumps, the motors, everything. We'll take them all apart and put them all back together and find out how they work.
Did you
And
make your reservation?
I'm going. You can pay me for it, or I'm taking the day off. But
Austin already has his certifications.
right, but
Yeah, but not on this system.
yeah, so
He needs
I
to
asked
go
him, and
as
he wants
well.
to go
Yeah.
too. Yeah,
That's
I agree with that.
What was,
KRWA.
Give some- give
what was
some
the
lunch.
conversation? Remember, I can't remember exactly what he said about far as the notification system that was out there.
well,
Because they,
that's
know we were contacted wanting to buy new software, and I thought I understood that guy. He said that it was what we had there was 10 or 15 years old and was the most current.
Yes, which Jerica has gotten a quote for replacement, and that's your Comtronics that you have.
Mind you, we wouldn't even have known about the last emergency at the sewer had I not just, I don't know if I went to the bathroom or what, but I just walked back into the shop office and I heard it going off in there. And I have my number programmed in there and it does not call.
And it may not be completely obsolete, but it's close to it. Now, the system that we currently have, we are using the free version. So there's a lot of things that does not work as we'd like it to. The replacement system is $29.50 to $3,000. And then there's an annual subscription requirement of $299.40. However, we don't have to have a land phone line to make the connection. We can do away with our $25 a month phone line that we're paying for. So it's going to be kind of a wash on this subscription. And that will unlock, I believe, a lot more options and some different things that we're not fully aware of yet. But as it stands right now, we're not getting notifications when the water or sewer system goes haywire. So,
Yeah, I didn't notify for when the power, it notified in the office, but not the phone call notification thing.
Yeah, so we really have to go forward with this. I mean, we have to upgrade that system and get something that works, because right now,
And I did ask the Hinkman, that's who the sewer repair guys are. I did ask them if they knew of any other companies that did that, and they didn't. Like, because that's all they do is city sewer, and so they said that is the only company that they've seen that has that.
and we'll get off the limited function free version and get a,
Right.
yeah,
And this will cover both the sewer and the water.
Yeah, it
Yes.
covers.
yes. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles, but it's enough to do what we need to do.
I think it does have all the bells and whistles that's
Does it?
available.
Like the version that we saw out of Galva. Or maybe you never saw that one.
But it's.
That one's wild.
I mean, and you can have up to 99 phone numbers
Oh.
on it.
So, yeah. It'll be a big upgrade for us. It'll be a new system and it just has to be done.
They kind of got us where they want us.
And that's kind of
Because it's the same. It's the same company we already have that does this, and he's the one that came out and said this system is obsolete, and what can we do about it if it's not really? But it
I
is
went
only
on the-
$3,000.
Yeah, I went on the company website, and it's not obsolete, there's still stuff available for it, but if you don't have anybody that can work on it locally, or will work on it locally, what are
Yeah,
you gonna
will.
do? You know, I mean,
One spill will cover that.
Well, I guess
Yeah.
my question is, if we're going to look at the contract for service agreement, okay,
yes,
are they familiar with this system or are they familiar with what's there?
they take care with
Do
the
we-
equipment,
They take care of the pumps and
and
everything associated.
They have to take care of the controls too.
Right, but this is just the alarm system.
this is the stuff that's in the office, and, the hardware.
Okay. I don't,
So, and like I say, we'll do away with a few months ago, it came to my attention that the alarm system wasn't working. Well, I found out that somewhere along the line, we had rerouted a phone line that went to the shop. So there was no phone line connected. I had it hooked up, and I was told it was working, but it's not now. So,
What they have to do at the sewer pump this last time they were there, they just put the right capacitors back in, and they have to replace the motor.
Jericho was out there.
No, they didn't replace the motor on it yet. I mean,
So we're still running off of just one pump.
no, we're running off two, but one of the primer pumps is
The vacuum. pumps.
overworking. Yeah. Overwork. Neither one of them are up to par. Really.
Did he bring capacitors out?
Yeah, he did.
He
He
replaced
changed out
of
both capacitors, but he didn't change out anything else because he wanted a list of and prioritize.
And I
So-
know he didn't have the parts for the vacuum pumps either back at his shop, so he would have to order some of that stuff, so.
And those things like and I'll find out. This is bad timing because after the 30th, then I'll know. Austin and I both will know a whole lot more about that whole system. So, but they do have a list of parts that we need coming, and they're, one of them are great right now, but they are running.
We're getting by. Okay.
yeah, I think we've got it by too long.
Yeah, we have.
Oh, if you want to know about the other issues that we had out there,
Please share.
Saturday night we went out to check the generator, and
Was that Friday
That was
night?
Friday.
Friday night, okay, yeah, Friday night we went out to check the generator, and it was the wires in there were rotted off or chewed in half from the 5 mice that are calling that home.
Mice or rats?
They're mice.
Okay.
A rat I might have been able to kill, not a mouse.
I don't know, from the panic I got when you called, that sounded like there was rats, so,
No, yeah, it hadn't been serviced for a while. So we put a new battery in there, and Preston redid some of the wiring in there, and it's operating correctly now. The battery I did steal from Scott, so I need to replace that.
My suggestion was that when we do get a new battery for that thing, we go with a glass mat battery because they do better in cold weather. They don't freeze, and they don't necessarily boil dry if they're overcharged.
This generator, I was told that it's supposed to automatically, that generator functions on its own. It will actually start up.
Mhm.
Do we do a monthly PM or anything on that whatsoever?
It has not been done, no.
It's supposed to exercise itself
You don't have a quarter tank of gas.
on some time schedule that I'm not aware of what it is. But it's supposed to run. It'll run. And
It's
typically, it should send an alarm that says you got a problem with the sewer.
well, it's supposed to start itself once a month.
Is it once a month?
Yeah.
There you go.
Basically, the shape it was in, it was impossible.
No, it hadn't started for a while.
So we're probably gonna end up, oil filters, fuel filters, I mean, it needs to be serviced, yeah. Air filter, all that stuff, we gotta get it up to snuff.
I do have all that information. Just give me the okay, I will.
Wait till we have a little better weather and. Well, if you wanna go play in the snow, I mean, it's,
She's been
I
playing with
have
snow
been.
all week. She's used to it now.
Okay, so what do y'all think about going and getting this software updated so they'll be able to get notified?
so we're gonna make a motion to approve $3,000 for a new, monitoring alarm system, notification system from Comtronics.
We add in the 300 for the subscription.
And $300 a year for the annual subscription.
So just make it a total of let's go 3,300.
Yes.
Make a motion to approve the contract between the City of Canton and Comtronics for a dollar amount not to exceed $3,200. Or 3,400, sorry.
There you go.
I can't
There you
have
go.
I'll second.
Motion has been made and seconded to approve the contract with Comtronics for about $3,400.
I guess we'll have to get a contract from
Yeah.
them.
Do I hear approval? I hear
All those in favor, yeah?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye.
very good.
So on the sewer maintenance contract, we're really waiting for the estimates on it.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think really with that, we'll only need to do it maybe for a
Say
year.
what?
We'll only need to do it for a year. I mean,
Well, what my understanding was they came out once a year and checked it all out.
yeah, but after the 30th, we pretty much take care of it ourselves.
Yeah.
Although my original speech for this was that we're so far behind on everything that time probably wouldn't allow us to keep up maintenance on everything until we got on top of everything.
That's correct.
What the end
then
of
the
end
seminar-
of the month seminar will give you is a better understanding what you're looking at. 'Cause when Jerry and I were out there, I was going, okay, how do I restart this thing? It shuts down, and he walked me through it. So I need just enough to clear it and fire it back up. If I had to do anything more than that, I couldn't have done it. It'll
You
give you
guys-
a better understanding about how it works, and you can make some.
You guys will be going to that class on the 30th. You'll have a better understanding. If you think it's something that you guys can handle on your own without a maintenance contract, then yes, but if it's something you can't, then we can explore doing a service contract with them.
Well, the only
We wouldn't
thing,
be able to approve it until the next council meeting anyway.
Well, we
the only thing that I would have to say about that is simply the fact that they have dealt with this particular system
Yeah.
for I don't know how long.
right.
But whatever that is, they know where they can get the parts.
Yes.
They know where I would recommend that you consider that. as
We
a
do the service
plus.
contract, and it's, instead of having a call out other than annual,
Yeah.
we can theoretically take care of it.
And again, it's one less thing that you guys have to spend time
Yeah.
maintaining.
Yeah.
And maybe we try it for a year and see how it goes, and you'll have a better understanding.
Let's wait till we get the contract, look at the dollar amount and see what all they're offering on the contract.
And we do still have
We
repairs.
can't do anything really about it until we get the
Right.
contract.
And we do still have repairs that need to be done on it, and we should be
Yes.
sending an estimate for that.
So we're gonna table that till next meeting then?
Yes.
Okay.
Until we get the contract for sure.
We have to have a contract in hand.
Right.
Hinkman is the name of the company. Mhm.
That's the city aid contract.
The Kingsman?
Hinkman.
Kinkman.
H. Right?
H.
H.
Hink, H-I-N.
Well, that's why I was like H.
Yeah,
I said it so many times.
that's how I'm spelling it, hink.
Discussion, I guess, of
Yeah,
the
just
status
curious,
of the chief of police.
have we got any more applications in, or how many applications have we received? Any idea? I know Morgan's
I
not.
can believe it was like 4 or 5. But, I'm looking at something that I have no idea what.
She told me she has 2 applications for the chief of police, lots of resumes, but only 2 returned emails with applications.
It's correct.
Were they qualified applicants?
Resumes.
I mean, that's the last report we got, right? Like they
See, the
weren't
question,
even in the state or have their law and,
And are we paying for their?
law enforcement
certification, and
qualifications were not there.
if they were not qualified, then the city of Canton would have to pay for them to go to
Right.
school, if you want to call it that, to become qualified. If they were qualified in the state of Kansas, then that would be foregone. And I have not talked to Mark about it.
March would be the most qualified person.
Well, he, in all honesty, he will make the decision as to who's going
Yeah.
to be the chief of police, only because he understands what needs to be done.
He's working.
Yes, and he's working nights now, so maybe somebody can take care of it. Okay,
Mark needs to review the applicants.
absolutely.
I think we have. I wasn't real thrilled.
Yeah, I don't think we've had any more. I think it's the same report that we're getting. Honestly.
I mean, I'd suggest
Unqualified.
each one, where all is it posted out? Just on, I thought
I-
Morgan had said
I know.
Indeed or something like
It was
that.
posted
Indeed,
out of the
I
area.
think some of the Kansas.
Yeah,
If we can.
yeah, it's been spread
Police
out. So.
officer.
I'd say we need to figure out where it's posted at and read through it if there's some stipulations that we need to change or descriptions, something like that, or pay, something like that.
Yeah, I think if we would put something out there about the pay, it would help, but it's what I heard last time.
We want somebody who's in it just
Yes,
with their heart, not their wallets.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
That's probably nice.
So are you ready to take the position?
no, I think good.
Don't need work.
I tried.
Drive all day long.
I guess we're down to the departments.
We don't have police department.
Well, you are part of the police department. aren't you?
Well,
He's code.
he's got his own line now.
Oh,
We'll go with maintenance.
Yeah.
How about
you
you,
go first.
Georgia?
Nice try, Derek.
Okay, first of all, I would like to ask permission. So there is a resident who's had a water leak. They had a water leak repaired, and then they had a second one. They called the guy out to fix it and made it worse. Right now, they are rerouting that water leak into the neighbor's yard. The house is vacant, so. But
It's ready to go across the street.
on a note of water conservation, I would like to hire the work done and then split the bill up on their water bill
Yes.
monthly for.
You know, has she contacted the actual plumber to come back out and to perform the work that he's supposed to perform?
Yeah, and have it come back out. And I don't think it's I think I could do it, but I'm not.
Is it if it's an individual or a business?
It's an individual that works for the business that.
I don't want to get in.
Did-
I don't want to get in. I mean, I totally understand your heart and everything, but I don't want to get in the job of going on private property and fixing people's water lines. If we do it for one, we could have 10 more. Could have the same issue.
Is it after the water meter or before the water?
It's after the
It's
water.
after. It's theirs. It's there. I'm not saying it's not. I'm just saying, can we fix
Right.
it?
City to fix it.
They don't have the
Bingo.
money to fix it. It's going to continue leaking until another month. That's not
Yeah.
good on water conservation whatsoever.
Oh yeah, I agree with you 100%. But yeah, I mean, I totally understand where you're coming from, but we
Yeah.
can't. After a water meet, I mean, we could get into some
Yeah, I don't-
issues with that.
I don't know the details, but from what I've gathered, it sounds like somebody replaced the outside faucet, and it's a bad faucet. Okay, and they hooked the hose up to it to run it over in the side yard so it doesn't flood the foundation of the house. Now, couldn't we just take the hose off and put a cap on the hose bib and stop it from blowing?
Kind of defeats the purpose of your frost-free hiding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that's totally back on the landowner. I mean, I understand what you're saying, but I don't think we as a city could do something like that.
I would think whoever a plumber is, they would work with them on payments. I mean,
Are you saying it wasn't a plumbing company, it was an individual that helped them out?
It was an individual from the plumbing company that repaired their leak in the front.
On the side? Or was it the plumbing company that came and did the work?
No, she's saying it was someone
No,
on the side
an
that worked for
individual
her.
that worked for the
Yeah.
plumbing company
Yeah.
basically was doing side work.
The plumbing company that fixed their leak in the front of their house. He worked for them.
Okay. And now we won't respond.
Yeah, I would be, I mean, I totally understand what you're saying. We can't do that as a city.
We can't hire a plumber.
No, not for that. If it was prior to the meter, then yeah, but after the meter, that's totally on the landowner.
And we really can't do it. Our personnel can't go on there because we're setting things up if something else should happen.
A lot of liability issue on that, and I agree. So if we're-
Some way we need to get the water shut off.
I'll just pay for it to be fixed. They
Let-
pay me back. Yeah, I will.
No,
I'm not gonna, those two old ladies cannot.
Let us
Cannot
know, let us
afford-
know when that melts tonight and we'll be happy to do it. They're not that hard to
Have we reached out to anybody to volunteer their time?
No, I'm pretty much maxed out on my ass.
Not
for
you, I'm not
volunteer
talking-
work.
I mean, we have a plumbing company here in town. We know that there are some in Galva that may kind of assist somebody in need. Do we
like I said, I would think that
This- I mean, like-
somebody out there would work with them on a payment.
start there? Just, I mean, I don't know. I'm gonna speak later, but, I mean, just to see if we can get any help whatsoever on a plumber's side. First, before you,
But Jerica, you're saying that the leak was at the faucet, or?
Yeah, I think it's just a bad valve or whatever is in,
Faucet,
yeah, whatever that thing is.
If in fact it was, or is a, like, shall we call it freeze faucet. It just took longer.
We can't get involved with the city.
yeah, I have
can't, but let's maybe reach out to some of our community people or in Galva and check there first to see if there's anything they can do to help before we. I mean, we as a city can't get involved, but we can also.
Do you know her pretty well? Cause I mean, I do, I can go talk to her.
Yeah, I've talked to her.
Yeah, cause I've talked to her about it too, but.
Talk to her and get the details and figure out exactly what happened from her and let me know. I mean, I can go over it.
Let me ask, is that house on crawl space or is it got a basement or?
It
I
doesn't
don't
have a
know.
basement.
I don't think, no, it doesn't have a basement.
I'll talk to her, cause I know you got other things to do, okay?
Judy Thomas.
I'll talk to her.
Okay. Anything else?
I would like to say thank you to everyone that helped this weekend with the snow removal, and Danny is a hero.
Oh.
Yes.
Tracy, you can't laugh so much.
Tracy was the supervisor.
We had serious issues with the sewer. And he came out there and in the freezing cold, I was so done. I couldn't feel my toes or my fingers, and he's still going at it. I was just like, I'm warming up. Sorry. But yeah, he was amazing.
Thank you.
Any issues you guys can think of, improvements for snow removal that we need to look at or anything we need to do differently or?
Keith suggested that we get new chains for the grader and take the ones that are on there now, move those to the front so it can turn.
What is the cost of those? Is it under 500?
For one set, it might be. I don't know, those are bigger than,
I would doubt seriously.
the ones for the Bobcat were $4.17.
Yeah, really expensive.
That was just two.
You got 4 tires, I want a day for.
Reach out to them, see what the dollar amount is. If it's over 500, get. Just have to get approved.
Do we wanna go ahead and approve?
We
something?
don't know the dollar amount. I mean, I'll see.
Well, I realize that, but
Dave,
we
you
could
got
approve.
any idea what those cost? You ever dealt with them?
We used all-wheel drive.
What do they cost for a semi? What size tires are on a semi normal?
Low Pro 24.5s, I think, are $250 a set. For a tire, isn't that about right?
we could approve.
Cables.
Yeah.
You can check with Fleet Bride.
I'd say we approve, go ahead and, so she can get them ordered with the snow we're getting now, potentially in the future. Do a motion for
Do you know the size of the tire?
Tell you what,
It has been suggested that we go ahead and
It'd be
approve
like
the
a-
allocation of $1,500
It'd be a
chains for the motor grader. If it's in excess of that, we'll go for it.
He also says like a cup holder in your seat.
Don't blame me.
we need to do a motion for that.
They'd have to be a 1400 by 24. Be the tire size, I bet.
As old as that motor grader is, probably.
I make a motion that we approve up to, not to exceed $1,500 for the purchase of chains for the grader.
No second.
I 15,
1,500.
We did examine all of the chains that are in there that from previous years, and they're all, they either don't latch or they're smashed and stretched out. So
So we're keeping them?
They'll,
I don't know
They've
what
been
to
kept?
do.
And they're
It's called scrap iron.
okay, so it was the motion second.
I
Yes.
seconded the motion, so we
Motion has
just.
been made and seconded to approve the allocation of $1,500 for chains for the motor grader. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay.
So you've got does that.
Anything else,
You do.
Erica?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Danny?
Yeah, so I've been out collecting pictures and writing up some reports. I have been out and physically talked to 5 people, and with those 5 people, 4 of them have been taking action and doing a very good job. I've got one that I'm still working with that we need to keep going on him. But so far, pretty good response so far. With saying that, I do struggle just a little bit, and you guys ain't gonna like me for saying this out loud, but anyways, I look at our city stuff that we have, Shiloh. We've got, like around the city building here, we have all sorts of things that just need a lot of attention. There's fence panels leaned up against the side of the building, I mean, just all sorts of stuff like that. But, and I know that's gonna come in time, and I'm not knocking at you, Jerry, at all.
No.
But, it's kind of tough to go tell these people, hey, I need you to clean your stuff up, when we have a lot of things that need to be worked on ourselves.
The most blighted building in the city,
Yeah. I mean, you come down Kansas and you see that Shiloh building with big holes in the roof, and I struggle with that a little bit, to go tell somebody, hey, I need you to clean your stuff up,
right.
when we're not taking care of our own.
Yep.
So I myself would like to see something get started with Shiloh, get some bids done, and see what we can do. So, but that's
And
kind
for
of where
anybody
I'm.
wanna buy it?
Well,
That's actually on my list of stuff.
The figures that were brought up when I got somebody out there, and others that came out too, were $100,000 to take that place down.
I understand that, but at the same time, we're gonna have to bite the bullet and do something.
My thing was knock the doors out of one end, put everything in the hallway, push it all outside and load it and dump it in the roll-offs and have them haul the garbage out. It changes the amount of money that it will take to dispose of the waste, because it goes from general to C to D, and it's a considerable amount per ton.
If you can get all of that out of there. I mean, I know you can, but how much time and effort will that take? I've been in there, it's bad.
I know, I've been in there too.
How many,
It's bad.
how much of the piping is it?
How much what?
Asbestos insulated.
That I don't know.
Unfortunately, I'm sure that most of it is.
I mean,
Got a good Christmas tree.
And I know at one time there were we need to check in. I'll check in again with maybe Rosemary and see about some grants for tear down. There were some things available that surrounding communities have done, but when we heard about it, the money was out. It's a new year. Maybe she can locate something. My understanding is Hutch did something similar with the old hospital. So if we could find a grant to help us tear that down, that would be great.
have we got a hard quote on what it would cost to tear it down?
What I was told is, if you want a hard quote, I'm gonna make sure I don't lose money doing it. But $100,000, but if you just let me come in your time and material, I think I could do a lot less,
Right.
It's such a mess. There's no standard, I mean, it's just a mess.
Right.
So,
I mean, in experience of different things like that, I mean, like your Greg Pope, your Countryside Excavating, they're going to be cheaper than an actual construct or demolition company, because they're the farmer style. They're not going to go, do all the
Greg
rules
Pope
and
refused,
regulation.
Greg Pope refused to get the bid on it.
He refused. Yeah.
Did it really?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
But he's the one who probably told you that he'd do it for time and material.
Sean Wilson did.
Sean?
So that's the person that I can get out there to look at it.
Right.
And, yeah, nobody else really wanted to respond to it, to the request, so.
I didn't know that about Greg.
Yeah. Well, back up. That's what Nick told me, he said.
So
Well,
That
I
wasn't
gotta find that out
I'll second
myself.
That wasn't in the
information.
conversation that I had.
So maybe we start from ground zero.
Yes.
Yeah.
Collecting bids, information on possible grants, whatever we need to do.
But I know that the disposal of waste, if we can get some of that garbage out of there, we're in the C and D. I mean, it's quite a few dollars a ton. So
Right.
it makes a huge difference.
Yeah.
But
Well, there again, I'm afraid if we do anything to that building and we find that the piping is insulated with asbestos, you just have to.
Yeah.
Correct, I mean, tell you they
They'll
ain't
hang you
gonna
out
be
to
nice
dry.
to us at all. So you better have some idea of what the heck you're talking about.
Yeah.
And if that means tearing part of the damn ceiling out, so you can look at pipes and things to determine what kind of a situation you really have. I think that building was built long enough ago, I almost bet it's asbestos.
it's in a big gray area there.
Did Willie say there was asbestos in there?
So what?
I can't say.
Didn't Willie
I've
Craig
heard
say there
so.
was asbestos in there?
I don't remember discussing that with Willie, maybe.
Well, he was in here talking about the high school water bill and they asked about Shiloh. I
Yeah.
think he specifically said there was asbestos in there. He knew there was asbestos in
I certainly would not doubt it.
Now, see, if they were ceiling tiles, if that's the ceiling tiles, then in the drop ceiling, that's one thing. That's relatively easy to get out, but you still gotta have the hazmat and breathing apparatus and all that. But when you get into the plumbing and insulation and stuff like that, it's a whole different issue.
Or you look at the tile on the floor, it's 9 inches by 9
That
inches.
too,
That's
tile.
asphalt.
The tile on
asbestos, yeah.
Tile on the floor, and everything that I looked at was not asbestos.
It's not 9 by 9.
The asbestos was a true 12 by 12 inch.
That's crazy.
They probably had to remove that, because they probably would have had to remove that because of residents. A long time ago, but the stuff in the ceiling was probably.
I don't know, Wilson Dirt Works was willing to come in there and not break laws, but not dig real deep to find out what was asbestos and what wasn't, and just make it all go away. So that's kind of where we're at.
Well, I say we start getting some bids and talking about grants and
I can reach out to Rosemary by email, because you gave me her email, so I can do that again.
I know there were some grants for blighted buildings and that.
Is
Yeah,
demolition
I read
type
about a couple
grants,
years ago.
Yeah.
so
so.
you wanna try to
This
get
is
a
a
bid
blighted
from.
building.
Yeah.
Sean, he already told me he's $100,000.
But, yeah, we probably need something in
Yeah.
writing, yeah.
I'll talk to him about it
Okay.
and see what I can come up with.
And maybe a couple others, so we'll see how many.
Yeah,
I would actually contact Greg and say.
I would try to get Greg out there first, and then we'll go from there.
I mean, it may take a little bit, there's a lot of snow on the ground, so.
It doesn't have to be
Wait till
done
things-
tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
We have our code enforcer give us a code violation.
That would damn well be one.
That's all I've got.
Thank you.
I do have a question for you, Danny.
Yes.
About vacuum excavator.
Yes,
We ran out of money and lost a really nice piece of equipment.
yes, we lost it by $500.
Oh.
So should we maybe, and granted, I'm looking just, I know you are too,
Right.
and I'm not finding any options coming up. But if one comes up, do we want to have like a blanket situation to where we maybe increase that 30 to 40?
Because the deadlines are coming up.
Well, there's,
So we have to have.
I'm not finding anything on Purple Wave right now. It's,
Right.
winter and all that. And what I do find is in Texas or Nebraska and, We don't know what we'll find, but
Would you guys be willing if I contacted Ditch Witch and got a quote on a new or maybe slightly used one that they would have? I deal with the guy down there at Ditch Witch a lot, and I could see what, for the size of machine that we are actually
you
needing
did
for the
feel
town.
that, yeah, see what you can do, because we were talking about that before.
Right.
So,
Yeah,
and we
Dick-
were looking at
Rick
direction.
got us some quotes on, that was new, it was not any used ones. That
Yeah.
was probably 6-8 months ago.
Right. But do you know what size of machine it was or anything? Because, I mean, you can buy a well oversized machine, and you could buy a machine that would be a size that would be suitable for what you guys need. You
Well, it
know?
depends on how often you wanna dump it.
Right.
You know, in most cases, you might be able to get as many as 2 meter pits cleaned out before you had to dump it. But that's okay. That's not really.
For
the
a,
issue.
for
It's
an,
still a whole lot of time saved than digging a gigantic.
but the 300 to 500 gallon tank, I mean, you could clean out
Oh, yeah.
15, 20, 25 meter pits with that. I mean, and that would be a good equivalent size machine, you know. Some of those that we were looking at down there on that auction deal were 1,000 gallon tanks and stuff, and that's just,
Yeah.
Yeah,
they're just way too big for what you guys need.
Well, it's something else we gotta keep in mind is we need something that we can move around town with the equipment we have.
Right. Like that size that we were looking at to buy there, that was perfect size for what you guys are.
That was a nice piece of equipment.
Yeah, Danny, if you've got some contacts, I would.
Good. I'll make a couple phone calls, see what kind of quotes I can get you guys.
It's your turn.
It's my turn. I really don't have much other than I'll try to start working on the swimming pool and getting some people set up for that. That's really all I have, if we're all in favor of opening the pool.
We really need people, we need to start now, getting things in place instead of waiting till the last minute like we
Well,
did
and,
last year.
you know, college kids are just barely maybe thinking about being done already and what they're gonna do for the summer, so getting it out sooner than, because we ran into that problem last year, right?
Yeah.
So, I think it'd be good to start now and start, I mean, that way, everything was a whirl. You put a lot of stuff together and did an excellent job, by the way, really quickly last season, so having time to prepare and do whatever, yeah, I mean,
As long as we're good.
Something that Jerry and I looked at as far as maintenance on the equipment is, we don't know when the last time those filters were serviced. And I did do some research and found parts available for them. They're getting harder to find parts. But Jerry and I had talked about getting the new guts for one of them, the O-rings, tearing them apart, and we see what we are actually dealing with. And those filters need to be serviced. They're supposed to be good for, 5 years? And
Been there for 25.
I don't know when they were looked at last. And at the same time, we've already got some clamps to reclamp some of the piping, and we need to put a hanger up in to support some of the pipes and stuff. And Jerry volunteered to help do it, so probably be him and I do it.
Yeah, very least, the sand needs replaced in them.
Yeah. And it takes 250 pounds of sand in each one of them, so. And so that's something we'll have to get, as soon as the weather gets decent, I'll start looking at putting that together. But I'll get costs together on the material so that we can get a dollar figure, and the labor's cheap, isn't it, Jerry?
I don't know, we'll see.
That's all I have.
That's all you got? Yeah, I'm glad I had Shiloh on my list to discuss. I mean, Yeah, either A, we look at some grants, or B, we put the thing up on the market for sale.
We could do that anyway, just to get some,
I mean-
see if we get any kind of,
Can't we do both?
take the best, move on the best option and go from there.
But if you put it up for sale, surely you would put a contingent that it's gonna be
100.
torn down.
Yeah.
Tore
Well,
down
yes,
with the next
yes,
period
and
of
there'd be a timeline involved, not just tear it down. Okay, you gotta, yeah. Yeah, we gotta.
Because otherwise you just have to move the mess to somebody else then.
But
Right,
we're
Well,
gonna
that's
have
why
to
we're in this situation.
we'll have to be
because-
full disclosure on it if there is asbestos in there or not.
Yes.
I don't know if we probably have to as a city, we'd have to
Yeah.
disclose it.
I'm sure it wasn't disclosed to us
Nope.
as a
You-
city. I don't know how that went down.
Were you on council for that?
I was just attending meetings.
Okay, I didn't know if
And,
anyone was.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I can
that was
honestly
not-
say
that was
I
not looked at.
I was not involved in that, so.
I was sitting in the audience and
I can just close
amazed
this landlocked.
at what the damn.
I mean,
Yeah, I don't know why that happened.
Well,
I wouldn't on the.
I don't think so.
I mean, I'll say 100%. I voted for it and had basically people lined up that were willing to actually buy the property and actually do development out there. But when the whole insurance fiasco and all that stuff happened, they saw a city in total dysfunction and not seeing anything improve, they completely backed away from it. Hell no, we don't want to spend any money in this damn town. I mean,
Isn't it landlocked?
that's what I said, huh?
Isn't it landlocked?
Currently it is.
Well,
Yeah, currently with, part of it is, yes.
okay,
But had people that were actually willing to work together and invest money, but with the city in dysfunction, with the whole insurance crap initially, those decisions had consequences, and that was a major, major consequence because of that. I mean, it's sad.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll take responsibility. I voted to buy it because I had people actually approach me wanting to spend money in this town.
Yeah.
It's sad. Yeah, I mean, we want to badmouth people for doing it, but trying to do things to improve the town. And I said, the very first council meeting I had said, when you guys make decisions, they have rash consequences if they're totally not thought through. 100%.
and I've heard different takes on why they bought it. And I can see it from both sides. And one made sense, but they may not have, so I would, there's a lot of things that went into that decision, so.
Yeah, my main deal was as far as the potential development, so we didn't end up with something like we got set up at the grade school. That's probably going to be the next building on the list.
Yeah.
You know?
Ooh, she said it with the eyes too, Jerry. I think
No, we're not.
That
That one there, the people have the money to actually fix it.
And they're using it for a storage facility instead of using the building for anything more, so.
I mean, regardless of, here's where we're at, here's
Yeah.
where we need to move
That's
forward.
something we gotta
That's what we're
do.
gonna do.
So something like that.
Okay. Oh,
Fallen trees.
Yeah, I'm done.
okay.
Sorry.
I gotta get my notes here.
Not
I have a few things here.
Shouldn't we?
Let's-
I mean, otherwise we're kind of finding ourselves.
So, first of all, our AED in the community building here, we're back up to date, patches, battery, director took care of that, everything is good to go, it's in working order. I think we had the infant patches expired, so he reordered those and got those in there. And then Miss Jerica and I have been communicating about checking of some hydrants in town. Kind of getting prepared for there's a lot to be decided, especially with the new maintenance supervisor as well, that the ISO rating, pressure testing, all that. So we've kind of been in communication like that's coming this year. We don't have a date. but making sure everything's in working order. If it's not, having a plan so that we can keep that high rating for insurance rates for our community. So, of course, this just came up last week, so Jarek and I did kind of talk about it a little bit. And because of the weather, I mean, we haven't really started it, but just as the weather gets nice, out and about, kind of checking some of these things so that we can make sure we have everything in working order, or a plan to fix it when we get that inspection. So I think
That's the hydrant by the corner of.
we're just kind of
Yeah.
checking to. I think there's one in particular that's in question, and so we'll check that out and find out for sure. But again, fire chief is kind of aware of that too. So again, if we have one not in working order, he did say if we have a plan, then we're going to be okay. But if they find something not in working order, then we're in trouble. So, yeah. So, Jarek is, we'll kind of check on that kind of stuff and go from there moving forward. And I think the only other kind of question I had would be the committee assignments, where we were, and all the fun things. And I've had some questions about that. Scott, we all have ours, right? But Scott is reappointed. So just kind of clarification of, is he picking back up where he left off? We're all still doing the same thing, new year, new you type of thing, And so just kind of clarifying, like, he's obviously, we know you've been in communication with maintenance and you're still doing maintenance and roads. So if we need to verbalize his assignment again, or do you see
Typically roads and drainage.
roads, drainage, and
Helping
helping with
supervising
maintenance?
the maintenance to a
That's-
degree, When Earl's not available, I kind of get involved, so.
I mean, I just had some questions with that. I'm like, that's a fair point. Do we need to reassign your assignments, or state that you're going to do what you did before?
I'm fine where I'm at. If you're okay with what I've been doing, then we're in good shape, so.
That was all I had.
Okay. I'd like to take a minute to talk about, actually a few minutes, to talk about McGuire Metals and that estimate that we got. When it came in, there was
This is
some
for the
panic.
water towers, right?
This is the water towers. How that came about is we had a maintenance contract with McGuire. They had been doing the blasting on the inside and all that good stuff. I sat in on a meeting and looked at pictures, and overall the tanks themselves are in good shape, okay? Because we've been staying on top of them. They've been painted interior and exterior. That contract, or that agreement that was brought forward, the towers themselves are actually in good shape. It's just that they've been painted over so many times. We've got flaky paint, we can't keep top coating them. So that's where we get into that maintenance contract. The reason because I did ask him to put that together. Because it goes with the 7-year plan that we have been talking about that we need to develop. And so that's where that comes into play. That was long-term stuff. The only thing that's a really big issue is the state may say, we may get fined for the anticline stuff. We got a breaking down, there's a few things that may become an issue. So this isn't something that has to be done next month or even next year, but it's part of our long-term stuff. So you don't have to panic over it, we just have to make a decision on how to go forward. You've been talking to somebody else, Earl, about it.
I talked to Viking about it.
Have they gotten back to you with anything?
Well, his first comment was it would cost $400,000 just to sandblast 2 towers,
Okay,
400,000.
okay, so that's as much as,
That's,
yeah, it's. We do know there's lead paint involved in that thing, it's gonna be contained, that's what ran the price up. We discussed the new water tower, but you got $1.5 million for a new tower.
Correct.
Then you got, you got to tie it in, so you got mains, you've got,
$500,000.
and you've got, well, you put it
I think
together
we should
somehow,
just
but
pump our brakes on this whole deal for now.
we do need to pump our brakes on the whole thing.
Well, I think Austin's got some really good
And
ideas.
you're gonna get a lot of blowback on doing something with the hot and cold towers too. And to maintain them, whether they had water in them or not, you're still gonna paint the towers.
Mhm.
So anyway, that's what that's all about. And I'm not sure that we really need, the last work session was canceled because of weather. We have had Scott Wade here 3 times to tell us how to do exactly what we're gonna ask him to tell us again. I don't think we need to pay him to come hold our hand and tell us how to do it. We need to make the decisions, make the moves, right or wrong.
I think everyone needs to come up with what they feel is
Exactly.
priority.
Well,
It
that's part
does-
of what the work session is to
Yeah.
have those discussions.
Does
Yeah,
everybody
and
have
where
a
we wanna
copy of that
start.
stuff? Do we, okay,
Thank you.
I'm
Okay.
sure we have multiple copies.
all right. So we need to start looking at that and start making the decisions. Mine's easy. I can spread out that McGuire thing and it makes it real easy for me on that part of it, you know. But there's other things that are involved. The other thing that we have to do, and I'm not gonna let it go, our new maintenance person is coming on hourly, he's not gonna be salaried. And we have a deadline of, in February, I think the 2nd or 3rd or something like that.
Yeah, it's always February.
Okay. Whether or not we have the employee stuff written or not, that has to happen.
I made an agreement, yeah, going to hourly, but I spent today probably 2 hours reading through the procedure, the policy and procedures, and there's so much of it that is antiquated that we as a council, not just us, prior councils, that we've been kind of in violation, how the employees have been treated, how the employees have been taking advantage of the city. There's just so much of it that needs to change. I mean, yeah.
So
I don't know, is that something we can go ahead and do, even though our policy and procedures said they're paid basically bi-weekly and no overtime is
Where does
paid?
it
We should
say
just
that?
do,
Because I read it.
Yeah. Just a second, I'll do a quick search.
we just
Keep
need to
going.
do it. We should have him start and go through with new employee contracts while we're wholesaling through the policies and procedures. So we can work with that. And so that way they understand what the terms are of their employment. We know what they are, well, and we're gonna, we've got the highlights in the contract, we know that we're gonna come back on policies and procedures and bolster that shit.
So you're saying the second, you want us a deadline for hours?
Is it this thing?
Pardon me?
No.
The second is what you want for a deadline.
That's what's so
for
bad.
hours?
Well, whatever,
Just read
Morgan had a date in February, that was the beginning of February. That was the deadline to make the switch.
The switch to what?
Everybody goes hourly,
Hourly
comp time,
versus-
That's what I'm
comp time
asking.
goes away, and we get into overtime, we make some major changes here.
If that's something we're gonna do, you need to take into account, I mean, I'm 100% going to hourly, but you're gonna have to take into account when it comes to the end of the month, if the 30th falls in on a Wednesday, is that employee gonna be issued 2 checks? Because financially, as far as the budget, you have to perform the budget on a monthly basis. So for that Wednesday, you would have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday would have to be on a separate check as far as the monthly budget.
I don't know, what was
I
presented.
mean, yeah, don't
What
get
was
me wrong,
pres-
I'm in
no,
100%
what was
agreement.
presented was early February was our date
Uh,
from what the clerk had worked out. And I don't know the details on it, but that's what I was going with. But it just has to be done, because otherwise, it'll continue to drag on
Yeah,
another 6, 8, 10 months. Right now, we're looking at 3 different copies of our personnel regulations.
yeah, I know.
And none of them jive with each other. Now, one thing that could happen is the last one that we've been working off of and handing the employees was adopted December 17, 2007. It came from the League of Municipalities. So ideally, I believe we can get an electronic copy. We get a new copy of the most recent, and that may work for us. But other than that,
Well, honestly, we have so many variations, as long as we start with the same copy
well,
and all work off of the same thing, I think we'll be okay.
since this is the one that's handed down to the employees, this is the one that we've got to use for reference, even if we decide to go another direction.
But then
Okay.
what do we do with the other procedures that we have in effect? We got 3 sets of procedures.
You tear them up and burn them. Okay? I mean, you make the changes and say, as of this date, these are the new procedures, we're done. Do you agree with that?
Whatever you're gonna do, you're gonna be, any of the stuff that's been passed in other minutes, if you wanna keep those, we've gotta just incorporate them into whatever we're gonna do, and then once we've got a working draft that everybody's
Yes.
agreed upon, at that time you would adopt it.
Adopt it. And
Yeah,
And then
and all the
cancel
other
out
ones go by
and then
the
that cancels out everything else, but we gotta, if there were things that you wanted to save, unless you wanted to just go a totally different route and find whatever the latest from the league is,
right.
and go that route, I mean, Morgan can get a hold of that through the clerk's registry.
Yeah. And I'm now back on the league, so I can get access to some of that stuff too, and I can review some of it online. But it's crazy because we've got one copy that looked fairly well, looked fairly good, and it's in Word, so we can modify it online.
And that's what I'm working on right now.
Okay. And the others are in PDF, so we have to,
And I'm converting those.
are you converting them? Okay.
My staff just didn't get to it by today.
Okay, so are we okay with making the move and just saying that we are working on these things?
Hiring, the specifics of hiring the maintenance supervisor, we wanna get him at least on a fresh start.
We have, we have put together a basic employee contract for hourly and overtime.
And then when we adopt it, all the employees will sign something that says that this is what they're gonna be abiding by, and we'll work all that out too.
Okay.
It's all possible. We
Okay,
just have to do it.
but we just have to do it, that's the thing. And, we just have to make the move and do it. So. Another thing is that, given that we do have a comp time situation right now, the amount of hours Jerica's been putting in, and we have a 30-day limit on how long the comp time is good for. There is no way that she can use up the amount of comp time that she has accrued just in this last week. So we should be compensating her, maybe we split it, I don't know, work something out, but she should be getting some overtime pay for some of these hours. Do you,
I would agree.
okay,
They're not listening.
Sure, yeah.
I know they're not listening, they will.
I know
I'm
where Jerry,
sorry,
I
we're
know where
looking
Jerry's
at all
thinking.
these.
Alright.
We were talking about, since Jerica's put in all these hours, and Danny has as well, but, we can't get into the comp time, she'll never be able to use her comp time.
Yeah, I heard that one.
Okay, so we're looking at compensating her with some overtime pay. Otherwise,
She'll never.
yeah, she'll have comp time there that will disappear in 30 days, and we just totally took advantage.
Do we need to adopt that for?
I mean, right now, Earl could suspend the expiration on that. It's pretty typical if they wanna do that for now until you figure out what you wanna do with the new policies and procedures, which it It's not kicking the can down the road indefinitely, a little bit. And by doing that though, then you can decide how it is that you want to pay out comp time, because
Okay.
in theory, she's always gonna have comp time. And so whenever this transition takes place, it's gonna have to be a decision on how you wanna handle that.
Now, in reading some of the state statutes, I found some stuff in there, and again, these are state statutes that we can modify to meet our needs. But in there, there's stuff that, the decision for comp or overtime lies with the employee.
No, as the employer, you can buy some of that out. And I mean, again, some of that depends on what your policies are.
Okay.
So,
We need to look in whether or not we can buy out some for comp time.
and again, that's gonna come back to what our policies and procedures are.
Well, that's where I was going, yeah, so. Okay, so that's another thing we need to work on, but, okay.
Here's something that'll blow everybody away too. The amount of sick leave. Full-time employees shall earn 8 hours of sick leave for each month of service. Accumulation of sick leave. No employee may accrue more than 720 hours of sick leave. Right here. Dated 2007.
Surely that was a typo.
No.
Wow.
So we're gonna have to work together to figure this stuff. 720 hours.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, that would take, basically you can earn 8 hours, 96 hours a month per year. But that's basically 90 days of sick leave you could accumulate.
Wow. So we got a lot of work ahead of us, and we're going to have to really dig on this stuff. We got to start making moves. So anyway, that's all I got.
So can we go ahead and with the new
Employment
hire,
contract. I think that would be the best way to do it.
Yes.
You wanna send me what it is that you've got for the basic one?
We can do better now. We can hand the copy right now.
yeah, with that looks.
Well, I mean, it doesn't have the dates on it, but it's basically the details. Well, he's got it.
It looks lousy now, as we speak.
Why?
It needs more details. Anyways,
No, it's-
I'm gonna let
it's-
him be the judge of that.
Yeah, he can
so.
take a look at it.
Yeah.
Okay. One more thing, water meters.
How many of those do you have?
Spare water.
Do you have any new ones?
New ones? I know I have one new one in my truck. Yes, right now. But no, I don't know.
I thought we had approved
We did,
Twice.
twice.
but he never did it.
We approved a total of $15,000 to be spent on meters and 0 were purchased.
Oh, because there's a reason why that hasn't been done.
You're going to share it, or are you
Well,
gonna?
the thing
What
is,
do you do?
the manufacturer has a million gallons or 10 years is what you had said, Erica? Okay, that's what the manufacturers say their meters are good for. Now, I've got paperwork that I went back through old council meetings. December 11th, 2023 is when I moved to approve the Kansas Water Office's application for technical grant. And Jason Klingsdale seconded, motion passed. That was where there were stipulations on what we had to do with those meters. We had to be rotating them out, changing them. So we need to get information from Rosemary about the details of that grant. And since you're gonna email, would you mind? I'll just hand this to you. And
Is this the only? This is what I have to go on. I have $15,000 allocated for buying new meters. That's the only.
At the time, we were looking at buying some new meters and starting the rotation, rotating them in and out. But I think that we ought to be looking at going to the electronic version.
Well, that's what I'm asking. If this is the only thing I got to go on, then I'm,
Because the electronic version,
that's a no-brainer.
the electronic version will save such a tremendous amount of time in the office because they won't be doing the meter reads, putting them in a computer, and then having to figure everything out.
There's no rereads. There's a lot less wasted water.
Yeah.
They are
Electronically, with that
Precise.
system, they can go around with the wand, read it, it gets sent to the computer, or you come up and download or whatever, but the program will generate the water bills.
later on when we get rich. Then we can upgrade to a drive-by system or even a tower reader.
Oh, my God.
So,
Look at your optimism.
well, yeah, because we're going places, we're doing things.
So,
I need to check.
We need the details on that application for technical grant, what the requirements are, because there was something in there
Yeah.
about changing out water meters and making sure they're running accurate.
Yeah, if you could include that in your email to Rosemary, I would really like to see that.
That's why I just slid that to her. So. Okay, I promise I'll shut up now.
I only have one thing,
Lay it on.
That's enough.
and I'm resigning.
Earl,
Yes, I am. And it says here, he was elected mayor of Canton in November of 2023. I have several personal health issues. My wife has recently fell and separated her shoulder. She is now in physical therapy twice a week. These issues take much of my time. During the last meeting of the council, Mr. David Tripp made a comment which I have not been able to get out of my mind. He said, "What have you accomplished in this last year?" Thinking all of these issues in consideration, or taking, I should say, I have to consider that my leadership must be the cause of the statement they've been made to be factual. For these reasons, I request that you accept this draft to be my resignation from the position of mayor of the city of council. Of city of Canton. And I'm serious. I believe that my ineptness here is creating a problem that somebody else needs to handle.
before we go home, I'd like to, let's go about a 10-minute executive session to discuss the mayor's position.
Can we do that? We've already approved the agenda.
You could amend it now if you wanted to, but also you need to have that's not an official reason to go into executive session, so it can
Discuss the mayor's position.
That's not one. It has to be consultation with the attorney or
For
personnel.
consultation with the attorney about the mayor's position.
So do we need to motion to?
Yep.
And then the agenda. And then you go into executive.
Make a motion to amend the agenda to include an executive session with the attorney to discuss the mayor's position. For 10 minutes?
Yeah.
That's a second.
I'd go
Uh,
15.
Go 15? Okay. For 15 minutes.
Do we have a second?
I'll second it.
Motion has been made and seconded to go into executive discussion to discuss the mayor's position. All those in favor?
Aye.
Now, that was the amendment, right? Did you do both of them in one?
I did.
No, it was not worded that way.
You need
Well,
to,
how was it worded?
You
We
just
amended-
voted to in the minutes, you didn't actually motion to go into executive
Okay,
session.
you're right.
No,
I
we
did
did
not.
not.
Thank you. Okay, so I'll make a motion to go into executive session for 15 minutes. At, what are we using for time? 20:09.
Yep.
So Scott made that motion.
Jerry I'll second it.
He does everything about Jerry.
That's good.
All those in favor?
Aye.
A-M-P.
I'm writing down here.
Y'all just have fun.
You don't just stay here.
Huh?
You don't stay
Yeah,
here.
I can leave.
No, I mean,
I don't go in there.
Oh.
well, we can go to the house and go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
I could go in that bathroom.
No, 'cause they're going in there for the.
I don't know. I think Morgan always.
Yeah, but she
Then they have to
I have the keys.
all those counts.
Oh, she has the key.
She'll let you do it by seniority.
Oh, yeah.
By any other means.
Oh, thank you.
Have to go.
Actually,
I didn't even think them right now.
Oh, because they're in my coat?
Yeah.
I didn't.
What were you
even-
saying, Derek?
I don't know.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah.
Go with.
Thank you, a ton, really.
I think they can appoint somebody.
Oh, for
that's not-
running around.
Yeah. I had to find out who your partner was today, because I didn't know who that guy was,
That was my traction weight.
but I think you forget.
Yeah, that was my traction weight for scoopers since I can't do that stuff.
I had great help.
What do you know?
More than I did when I walked in here. Well,
Probably.
I know what tire chains cost
How
Greater.
much were they?
Well,
Was it about 400 a piece?
yeah, pretty varied, depending on the size of the gun.
I'm pretty sure they're 1,400.
I had to back off all the way to swing the sled. I mean,
Start there and scroll
Yeah,
that way.
that's
you
what
know.
I was looking
well, I had
at.
to back off.
See, that 510 one, that's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, yeah.
So 1,000
Well, I mean, it only took me 40 minutes.
That's,
And they
pretty cheap.
They said 1,500 is what they
When I
threw.
was gonna
Yeah,
get broke
yeah.
loose, so I was like, fuck this. I'm gonna go to the lab in there and I'll break this.
Okay, yep, thank you, sir.
Got things you need to take care of.
How are you doing?
Well, good, turkey. Rick,
How long are you home for, Terry?
oh, probably till Monday.
Yeah, I'm gonna go.
Shear said anything about that coyote hunting deal yet?
No,
Hey, that's coming right up.
yeah, it should be.
That was pretty good. Huh? Did you got burgers out
No, not that, not for that.
there?
I don't, we didn't cook out there.
Yeah,
Why didn't we? I don't know, there was something the night before.
yeah,
Just happened to,
But I
I get it.
that was, Potter.
No, I talked to them, they got stuck out of line.
Did you see that?
Ron,
Or did
John
you?
Carlo were out there.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I shot him a text on the way home and they weren't there yet.
yeah, they were at Strasburg when I talked to them.
Never no fun to pack out or anything like that.
You know,
Okay.
never consider myself a quitter.
Keep the burger side down.
In these situations, I get you, gotta take care of mom and take care of myself.
That's priority number one.
So what happens now?
In about 3 months, that's what they're talking about now.
What happens now? Do they have to have an election or will they appoint somebody or?
Isn't Jerry,
Jerry,
Jerry's the way it's supposed to
yeah,
go,
the
unless he
president of the
declines.
council, yeah, then the probably go to, probably not.
Rhonda would be the next
Yeah.
elected.
It shouldn't be the.
If
That's
Jerry,
your choice.
if
Yeah.
Jerry declines it, does he not have to step down from his position where he's at?
As
Yeah.
president,
Yeah.
he does, then he just becomes a council member, and then who do they move?
Right, this year. You got it.
Pot's gonna go to craziness, that way.
Oh, I think
No?
it'll level out.
Okay.
If Mary doesn't come back, we can throw it.
Or is she tonight? She say she wasn't coming?
It's the only thing good about coming to the office. The candy stack.
So how are you doing, young lady?
I don't know how they
Did
keep
you
so
have a
much,
good day?
I don't know how they keep so much candy at home.
Yeah, I don't know.
These kids like eat so much candy. and
I don't
they
know what it
still
looks
have
like out
candy,
there, but I'm afraid we might
overflowing.
have another.
Like, bring it to my
Have to
house.
make another
I
path.
can use
No,
it.
you don't want it at your
So-
house.
I can't have as much as I would like.
On that street sweeper,
I can have a
you said the
sucker
shaft.
and eat
Preston
it.
seems to think that it doesn't matter what that
If
shaft
we're
looks
out
like,
to that street.
but it's still gonna operate the same. Something about the. I don't know.
Well, it depends on where the shaft is, and I've never seen the shaft. But I told him, I said, hey, you know, we can get a new shaft, but if that's too much money for you, we can have one made. No big deal. And that was the end of that conversation,
Okay,
because
So-
I don't think Nick or Danny, either one, wanted to do anything.
Is this
yeah,
still
I-
going?
that's-
They neither one did they?
No,
mm,
that equates to work,
Yeah, bingo.
okay?
Yeah.
Excuse my language, but it's true.
You're absolutely right.
That being said,
yeah, Preston thinks that once he gets that whatever part back on there, that the shaft will, because it doesn't spin or it does spin, or I really wasn't paying attention, but he thinks it'll work like it is, no matter what.
when he gets around to it,
We
one
got
of these
started.
days we need to check out that water system.
Yeah,
I have more expertise in water than phew, most people.
Well, you've got a degree in it.
Yeah. I designed
well,
lots and lots of water systems.
I mean, honestly, a filter maybe plumbed or something like that. I don't
Could be
know.
a filter, could be a solenoid valve, it could, anything. But solenoid valve is the most logical.
But it's, I
because
mean,
it has to, you can turn the water on and off as you're doing other, if you're cleaning out the system or dumping the dirt or whatever, you wouldn't want the water stream. So you just push a button, or flip the switch, whatever it is.
mhm.
And that might be the whole problem, just a solenoid valve in the supply system.
Just like it was out here.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'd be surprised.
It's not. It won't. I think won't we be out 2 council members if Jerry has to step up and Mary's not, if she's not coming back, I don't know.
Oh, she isn't.
I don't know.
She said she didn't know,
Oh,
because she's not here tonight.
told her in the last meeting.
Yeah, she did.
Instead, we're going to be forfeiting her position anyway, just because of the way she acted. Childish and uncalled for, honestly.
Still snowing this evening.
Yeah, just a little bit.
It's fairly light, isn't it?
It's not too bad. It wasn't as bad as it was earlier. It was almost white out coming from Mount Ridge.
Mhm.
I bet it was.
Yeah, it was I hit Arrowhead Lane at
Oh, yeah, I
27th.
don't know if I completed that sentence.
It
Did I
was
text him or not?
probably mild visibility, maybe about that, maybe not even that. And then it got dark and it was you could almost not tell where the road was, except for the tire tracks of somebody that had gone before me, and then just a slight shadow of where the tire tracks were of between because it was all snow covered, and it looked like it went out flat, and you could just see like a little indentations, and it was just a slightly gray color coming
I
home.
don't like to drive like that.
I haven't drove since it started snowing.
35 miles an hour. That's what I did on the way from Mountain Ridge. And I left there at 5:20, got home at 6.
Mm-hmm.
So,
You're amazing.
Yeah, that's what I got told.
Yeah, you do. I
no, I
Maybe
don't.
you ought to take notes for her. You'll have to rub that in.
Yeah, every
It's
night.
crazy.
Maybe you ought to
Take notes for her.
It's
Now you know I am.
In that scenario, you were amazing. Okay. She may have a different reason.
Because I'm a nice guy.
He's always nice to me, but a lot of people don't think he's very nice.
Oh, really?
Sometimes I have to remind him to be nice.
I didn't see that. I wouldn't.
I'm always nice.
I can remember a time when
People-
you two were dating.
Dave, why can't you just issue the city citations too? Or code enforcement?
What do you mean?
He talked about that.
I know you mentioned that you could possibly, or it was mentioned. I know it was mentioned. But you could cite the city too, or,
I just got a warning, okay?
They
Give
got
me a day
they
or
got
two.
a verbal warning tonight.
oh, they did.
They
give
got
one?
them, yeah.
Okay,
It
so
was just verbal.
unofficial verbal warning.
Yes,
Okay.
unofficial verbal warning.
I was very official. It was it's recorded.
Yeah, I got it.
Well, it wasn't issued as a warning. It's just that he
Right.
said that there is issues.
It's an unofficial verbal warning.
It's a get your attention.
Then the next step is the official verbal warning, and then the next
Then-
step is the
then we-
citation.
Then we could cite them.
Yes.
Make them go to court.
Well,
With themselves.
technically,
wait.
you have to give them a certain amount of
Wait
time
10 days
to
before we get
finish
that.
it.
That's true.
And you get set that time back.
Yeah, I can set their court date, yes. And do all that,
So in other words, you could give them 6 months to get Shiloh Manor taken care of.
yes.
You could give them 20 days to get Shiloh Manor taken care of.
I'd say officially, probably, yes. but-
Yeah, I mean, whatever the
Right.
citation allows you to do.
Right.
You can extend it, I don't think you can shorten it.
So what had happened if somebody like me just walked out there and lit it?
That's what I was thinking.
Well, that would be arson.
That probably,
Campus.
Jay Scott did that to that school out there. Jeff said, Jay, we're not burning it down.
You need to
Jeff
have,
left Jay with the match.
I just don't
Pulled
know
up
why-
his lawn chair and watched it burn.
Here, what I would do is you know it's going to cost you $100,000, so it's going to cost somebody else probably that much too. if
There
they're
will
gonna
be
do
a
it.
fine if we burn it down ourselves.
True,
But
but even if you did it that way, what you could do is it's going to cost somebody, and they're not going to buy it if they know that there's asbestos because you've got to declare it now because you're a government entity and you have to declare it. So you just sell it for $1 with stipulation that they clean it up and they take the burden of it.
what they pay for it.
20,000.
yeah,
the land's worth a lot more than that, though, right?
It should.
If it wasn't
are they
landlocked.
locked?
Tricks on you.
It's all the doors. Thank you.
They all come out of the closet.
Coming out of the closet, are you, Jerry?
We got that on video.
You
Get
don't have
back
to
up here,
send.
the meeting's not over yet. We made a decision.
We didn't make any binding.
No binding
decisions.
decision.
I don't mind your decisions.
Of course.
Just cleared them there. Oh, did we shut off the lights?
Yes.
Okay.
back to session at 20:23. No binding decisions were made. Alright. Effective tonight, I am going to step down as president of the city council. I would like to remain on the city council if possible, but I do not have the time to commit to the mayor's position at this time.
So, I will go ahead and make a motion for, Wanda to, take over the, president of the council responsibilities.
I'll second that motion.
All those in favor?
Aye.
All those in favor?
Yes, except for you didn't say,
I think I said.
did you say, okay. Is that all you need to do?
So, yeah, after tonight's meeting, it's by statute that the president of the council fills in as interim mayor. So,
Was there any nays and was it approved?
It was approved.
Yeah.
I didn't hear it say that.
Oh,
I said aye.
No, I didn't hear you say
approved.
approved. The motion was approved.
Motion is approved. Sorry, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
Still in shock. but
No.
Okay.
Okay.
Make a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
so we're done.
Does that mean the meeting is adjourned?
Mayor Rhonda,
Yes,
is the meeting adjourned?
yes, it's.
There you go.
Just like get out.
I think we got that. across.
This is the stuff that needs to
How
go
do
back
you trip
to
over?
no, it's a little stuffy.
Scary, yeah. Thank you.
All right. So Danny, I'm sure you're keeping your eyes open for other equipment, no?
Yes.
Okay.
Sorry.
No, well, I just wanted to make sure that.
All right.
Like I said,
No, I'll follow.
I'm gonna get in contact with my guy down there
Days and stuff.
or at